Hello! I wrote a book. Yes, it's my second one. I didn't tell anyone about the first one. And I promised some friends that I would come up with some sort of marketing strategy for this one because we were out drinking one night and they got quite cross with me, slash confused that I had gone to the trouble of writing an entire novel and self-publishing it without really telling anyone or even having a social media presence. So my strategy for this one is to make a single video and post it on a long dead YouTube channel with a few hundred subscribers in a format that's this way instead of this way, and not really attempt to put anything in it that's going to make it go viral. Yeah, here's the book. It's called The Last Nightclub, a story of love, music, and the end of the world. It is a follow-up, as I said, to the first one, which is called Human Touch. These are the two of them. You don't need to have read this one, this one to get this one, although you might get more out of it slightly. There's enough in there. It's the same world, different characters for the most part. I'm shooting this on a iMac webcam. Apologies. The only other camera I have available to me is this Piranha Plant that's branded Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, I don't know. What's the book about? I'll read the back. Samir's been unemployed for years. His job automated away along with the entire music industry. Now he's single too. His partner of 10 years fed up with his freeloading. Sam's only friend offers him a sofa and a job at his club, the only nightclub left in San Francisco that still hosts real artists. Broken alone, he longs for his old boss, music legend Gemma Thompson, the woman who made his life exciting and his relationship complicated. A world away in the English Midlands, Gemma is on the run from the British authorities. She dreams of recording songs again, and of Sam, with whom she formed an unusual bond. Trapped in their respective lives, Gemma and Sam desperately seek a way across the ocean to find each other, each without the other knowing. I think I wrote that before I finished the book. It is speculative sci-fi, romance-y. It's not about AI. It's about people. And regret, getting older, nostalgia, losing your job. Definitely about losing your job. It happens like right away, like middle of chapter 1. Set in San Francisco, LA, parts of England. You write what you know. I've been to all those places. It's out October 30th on Kindle and just Kindle. Kindle Unlimited. I don't know what that means. I know that it means that it's only on Kindle if you want it as an ebook. But if you want this one, if you want the physical one, it's Amazon, Waterstones, Barnes and Noble, I think. Other bookstores are available. First one's out now. It's been out for over a year. I have it on good authority that it starts slow and that the first chapter, not very good. This was the same drinks. I got all this feedback at once. It was a lot to take on. You know, we'll see how the next one goes. A member of my own family gave this 4 stars on Amazon. Swear to God. My ex-girlfriend gave it 1 star on a website that I won't name. We love honesty here. Good for her. So a big theme of this novel is older people clinging to older technology because they somehow feel more free or less controlled. But the sort of dichotomy of that with the fact that they're sort of also obsessed with using new technology, but don't acknowledge it. Don't acknowledge how much good it's doing for their lives. I don't want to unpack the themes because, you know, it's not that deep, bro. It's like probably the #1 topic of speculative fiction for the past 5 years. I wanted to also mess around with older technology in the process of getting ready to write it. A couple reasons. It's antithetical to my whole deal to use old technology. I have been on the cutting edge of technology my entire life. I basically would use new technology just because it was new. I'm not all boomer about it now. I do still have modern tech. Like I'm making this on an iMac. iMac's not very new. But I do have I have this. I have a MacBook Air. It's fairly new. I think it's like a year or 2 old. For the writing itself is where I started to spiral. You don't really need something new to write text. right? And there's lots of modern writing apps, clean and modern and cloud synced and distraction-free focus mode. You know, that becomes the common refrain in all of the modern writing apps, is that they're distraction-free, right? Because modern technology is very distracting. Pull you this way and pull you that way. And you don't want that. You're trying to be creative and you need to focus. And I agree. I've had a massive struggle with that for most of my adult life. I am what the kids refer to as neurodiverse. I was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age, much to my parents' relief, because it gave them a scapegoat for why I was doing so badly in school. There's something wrong with him. Medicate the boy. So as tech has progressed in this way, I've struggled with the red dots and the vibrations and the algorithms and feeds and all that, as it's moved away from creating it yourself and taking it as it comes, and it's in its own room in the house, and now it's like, you know, fucking it follows, but it's a red dot. I have never been as productive in modern times on technology as I was as a kid, and you just assume it's because you were a kid and you didn't have any obligations and you were a lot more free and, you know, less embarrassed, or all the reasons that are given typically for this book, which was, you know, I worked on it a couple years ago now. I got snookered into this device, probably on an Instagram ad. I can't even look at it without laughing. The Freewrite Smart Typewriter. It is a ridiculous gizmo. Very unaffordable. Bad use of money. But I wrote tens of thousands of words on this thing. Like, so many words. I would just start writing and go. And I hadn't achieved that level of productivity in my adult life. But so I've written on computers my whole life, I guess is my point. And the fancy Instagram typewriter tapped into something for me. But I'm not a typewriter guy. I'm too young for that. Like, my memories of typewriters are my mother using them when I was very small, and they already had screens on them. They were basically glorified printers, and we already had a computer in the house. So what gives, right? I want to do my writing on a computer, but not that computer, not the MacBook Air, right? Because I can't focus. I do too much. I get like 100, 200 words, and then I'm off to some other window. But I also have never written manually in my entire life. I thought about what I wrote on in college, right? Which was one of these boys, as you see in the background here, the iBook G3 Snow. You know, so not the... when I was in university, these things ruled the fucking campus. Like, you weren't shit if you didn't have an iBook. Dorms, you would see them out on campus. You'd see them in the coffee shops. Everyone had these stupid iBooks. Basically worthless now. I got that on eBay for less than £100 in the original box. But that's what I'm nostalgic for, right? Like, that's what I remember. And you know what? I wrote thousands and thousands of words on it, on this project. I wrote so much of this book on that laptop. I started to spiral a bit. And so then you see this one here, which is older. This one's from the 90s. I also got this on eBay as part of this. Not pictured, probably about 8 or 10 more. There's what you can kind of see one down there. There's a stack of more. I'm surrounded by them. It's not good, but they're really cheap. If you get the ones that aren't collectible, they can't do anything in the modern era. You can't put them online. They can't do any of the stuff that people want to do on computers these days. They do what they were made to do. They do what they were designed to do back when they were designed to do it. They still do it just as fast, right? Like this one up here, it's blazing fast, right? Like, that thing boots up from nothing to desktop in less than a minute. I've got my whole iTunes library on there, which I ripped a bunch of CDs. Maybe it doesn't have to be Evanescent. It can't only read music that was out when it was new. It can read modern music as well. This just happens to be the CD that I had. Surely I have a less embarrassing one, a more embarrassing one. I had it set up exactly where this is now on my desk, and I wrote, tens of thousands of words on that. And it can do what it does, right? All the software is already on it, right? It doesn't have to connect to the internet. It can it can't do anything once it's on it, but it can get on. So there was no chance of distraction, right? And when you're done using it, you turn it off and you walk out of the room. When I need to do research, I will just back it up to a USB, and then go in the other room and use my real laptop for doing the research, and then make notes, from what I'm finding, and then take those notes on the USB back to the computer, and then I can have them open next to it if I want. So I'm still living in the future. I'm not Gutenberg press stuff. I'm still doing the split screen workflow. It's just that it's all, air gapped unintentionally. I stopped at the water's edge for me was finishing the novel. I did eventually wind up that part of the process. And one day I sat down with my massive folder full of random docs and text fragments that were, that totted up to 60 or 70,000 words. And I compiled them all into a Word doc on this, which is an Asus Chromebook CK1405 CKA. It's this lovely, got this sticker on it from a local artist here in Leith, and then some crap I found at the Warped Tour. And then this regrettably turns out to be from a crypto game. I just thought it was a cute pixel carrot. This is just a laptop-ass laptop, right? This is kids are going to cry that they were given this for Christmas because it's so basic. This is as close as I've gotten to a modern single-use device. This can't do anything, right? Chrome OS. So you can browse the web on it, but it is a miserable experience because websites are so slow and heavy. But it can run Google Docs like a champion. And it can work offline. You don't need to be online to use it. And so I finished the whole book on that, right? I took it from 65, 70K words to 120 some on that in just one gigantic Google Doc, which I am told is unhinged and people don't write that way. And then I of course I finished it on a modern PC. All of these things have their uses, right? I did the cover. I did both of these covers. I did in a program called Affinity Photo, which is for Mac. A program called Vellum, VELLUM, which is also for Mac, to do what they call the interior of the book. Very modern workflow from then on out. But the drafting, you can get text from anywhere. You don't need to purchase specialized software that you're going to run to attempt to help you focus on your modern laptop, which might not even work because you can just alt tab away from it. For that same money, you can just get I got this for, did I already say I got this for 30 or 40 pounds from someone on Facebook Marketplace. This was more just now I have a hobby. Now I can run for my ADHD, but only so far. The big win for me is going to be putting this thing out to pasture. That is first of all, I can't write on that in public. I would feel like a tool. The performative male, I am not, despite my best efforts. This, maybe I can write on that in public. Chromebooks, certainly, and I've already started thinking I can probably do the entire next novel just on the Chromebook. No faffing about with this stuff and all of the retro tech, and I had to use floppy disks to get files off this one. You just say, you know what, whatever works for you, but you don't have to stay within the laptop is what I found. Within my current Mac and iOS ecosystem, and get a special app that has a special focus mode. Use a different device. That's what worked for me. If you do use that, you get to listen to. But yeah, that's my cheap book promo, and also a little story of how I battled my own tech addiction and ADHD within an inch of my life to get the damn thing written and finished. And now I've gotten through 2 of them I'm not saying that this is going to help you write a good book, and I'm not saying that these are good, and neither is my ex-girlfriend. But you can do it. I could do it. And up to that point, it felt like a hopeless lost cause that I could ever focus for that long on one thing. October 30th, it's out. Audiobook version before the end of the year. And I'm not doing it, mercifully. That is hopefully met the brief of the title, and also the ultimate box ticking of me saying, of course I'll tell people that I did the book. Consider yourself